Was it strategy or was it survival?
Do you know what alternative facts meant?
I'm aware.
Can you please explain it for us? So tell the person who uttered it on her third Sunday show the day looking into a blank camera and then immediately said what I meant.
Well, we could also do other examples. I mean,
No, you can answer the question though. You have to be fair. You're not going to go back 8 years and do that.
Well, I asked you a question about your role in the White House.
You gave me two choices. You gave me two choices and they're both inaccurate.
So alternative facts, I'm assuming mean...
Oh, you're assuming. Go ahead.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and there was quite the spicy exchange at Harvard University yesterday where an entitled brat got what they had coming to them from Trump's former speaker and slightly deranged Kellyanne Conway. I don't really know. Every time I see something, it's bad or kids uploading videos of her or whatever. But this is a conversation that goes extraordinarily sideways very quick for this entitled brat, and you just love to see it. By the way, huge shout out to my computer sponsor, Meta PCs, promo code QUARTERING. I've got a link to kind of a good, better, best system thing, but you can do ready to ship. You can also custom build from the ground up. It's a computer I use. It's the only computer I trust. And Coffee Brand Coffee today launched our winter collection. I worked very, very hard on these flavors. Sugar, plum, and gingerbread are ridiculously delicious. Promo code winter sale, one word, save 10% off. You're definitely going to want to try these, available whole bean and ground. Don't miss out on our delicious winter flavors. Kellyanne Conway eviscerates liberal grad student who tried to outsmart her at Harvard Q&A. Kellyanne Conway hit out at a liberal graduate student who questioned her record during President-elect Donald Trump's first term at Harvard University. The former advisor to the president appeared at the Ivy League institution on Tuesday to discuss the 2024 presidential election, what challenges Trump may face in his second term. But when the audience members got to ask a question, second-year Master of Public Policy student Jane Peterson took the opportunity to try and own her for once claiming there were, quote, alternative facts about the crowd size at Trump's inauguration. I wanted to ask you a question about your job as White House spokesperson. Peterson began. In that role, you said that there were things that you said that were pretty audacious and caused people to question things that they had seen with their own eyes. She's calling her a liar here. I always wondered whether that was a survival response in what seemed like a very chaotic White House or a strategy. So was it a strategy or was it survival? You know, all the bantering with journalists, the quote, alternative facts, was it strategy or survival? At first, Conway simply asked Peterson if they knew what the term alternative facts even meant, to which she said, I'm aware. Let's actually just go to the video breakdown here like John Madden because it's unbelievable.
Let's go over here.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, thank you very much for being...
You could just look at her greasy face and know she's a smug brat. Look, a lot of people say, man, that's a kid. I don't think so. If you're a second-year grad student, you're 22, 23. You're also at a $100,000 a year education, so we're going to treat this individual with adult gloves.
Here, my name is Jane Peterson. I'm a second-year MPP student here at the Kennedy School. And I wanted to ask, since the last time you've been here was in 2016, I wanted to ask a question about your job as a White House spokesperson. In that role, you said things that were often pretty audacious, often caused people to question things that they have seen with their own eyes. And so I'm curious, in that role, I was always wondering whether it was a survival response in what seemed like was a very chaotic White House, or was it a strategy? So was it strategy or was it survival? You know, all the bantering with journalists, the alternative facts. Was it strategy or was it survival?
Do you know what alternative facts meant?
Oops.
I'm aware.
Can you please explain it for us? So tell the person who uttered it on her third Sunday show the day looking into a blank camera and then immediately said what I meant.
Well, we could also do other examples. I mean,
Oops.
No, you can answer the question though.
Yeah, you said you knew.
You're not going to go back 8 years and do that.
Well, I asked you a question about your role in the
No,
White House.
you gave me
so
two choices.
naturally it'd be at least
You gave
4
me
years
two
ago.
choices, and they're both inaccurate.
So alternative facts.
This is not going how this individual thought it was, and their trust fund is drying up.
I'm assuming me.
Oh, you're assuming.
Oh, so
Go
you
ahead.
didn't know. So she didn't know. She said she's aware of what it means, but then 8 seconds later does not know what it means.
I've talked about it in many interviews. I wrote a whole book about
it's
it. Number
interesting
one,
that
New York
you
Times.
decide to come here and know that you're going to be accepting questions from students, and yet
Okay, so then I'll answer it. Thank you for your question. I gave you a good chance there, and it's a great chance for you because I don't need any more airtime. I get plenty of it. So I think your choices were survivor's response. That's rich. Or since you know nothing about me. Or
She's
banter.
pissed.
What was it? Something else silly.
I said strategy or survival.
Strategy.
Not survivor's response.
How about trying to, first of all, my job was counselor to the president. I said no to press secretary. 42 minutes after President Trump was elected, he offered me that job. He said, you'd be great at that. I said, I would be terrible at that. I'm not even sure what they do. Some days I'm still not sure. I clearly am not sure after these 4 years. The border's secure. President Biden is behind the scenes. He's a trapeze artist and a triathlete. You just can't see it. So I hope you take these same concerns to the people who have lied.
What she's saying there is, you are a liar, and then points out the redheaded Keon Jean Pierre, or whatever his stupid name is, has been lying nonstop for 4 years, and Democrats don't have a problem with that. Oh, his mental acuity's fine. Everything's perfect. You know, this, that, and the other thing.
Lied to your face for 4 years in this administration, all the way to this crushing defeat of a sitting vice president who could have been the first female president of color in our nation's history, but instead had to eat and own all the lies that had been told by this administration. Alternative facts was very simple. It was, I meant to say alternative information, additional facts. It wasn't George Orwell. It wasn't a new set of facts. And you can read my whole book. There's a whole chapter about it where I explain it. I don't defend it myself. I explain it. And if you want to be judged by 2 words in your life, it'll take me, it wouldn't take me much time to find those 2 words. But I don't do that. I don't look at people that way. Seti, I think we're going to have to go a little bit more deeply than me giving some advice on how people find common ground. I'm very proud that I was able to tell people what was going on in the White House, what the Tax Cut and Jobs Act meant to them, that we had over 100 corporate incursions, that we had U.S. companies legally parked overseas, that since then we've had $2.5 trillion of wealth repatriated this country, that corporations did invest in their research and inventory in their workforce. I just had lunch yesterday with a woman in D.C. who told me her company raised the minimum wage to $20 the minute that passed. It goes on and on.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to have told the country that I work for the president. 7 promised to do it, only 1 did. 7 presidents promised to move the
Oops.
embassy to Jerusalem from Tel Aviv to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. 1 did it. Give back the Golan Heights, sign the Abraham Accords. Very happy to announce a lot of trade deals. So here's what I do. I look at the full measure of people. And if the idea is to try to cut them down from one thing they said or one bad day they had or one article they wrote, then I wish you a much happier life.
Oops.
Than all that. So I don't have an answer to a question that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, except to say you can read my book about alternative facts. You can listen to the many interviews I've given about it. It was never actually a different set of facts. And that's pretty obvious. So, and I will say this, you go back to 2016, the media, who I guess just has a whole living of getting the elections wrong, on that they're consistent. They couldn't get enough of Donald Trump and Kellyanne Conway during the election. Every show, every minute, So I'm well on the record as saying which states he was going to win, how he was going to win in 2016, where he was going to win. And then he won.
Now she's just kind of filibustering, or has been for a little bit, but it didn't really go very well. This was interesting. And I don't know who this, Conway asked Peterson pictured if she knew what she meant, alternative facts. No, she did not know what that meant. You see, a Harvard student probably regrets asking Kellyanne Conway this question. You see, you gave me two choices and both are inaccurate, Conway replied, prompting a back and forth between them. This is very like bog standard woke liberal garbage. It was at this moment the kid she knew she had messed up.
A good chance there. And it's a great chance for you because I don't need any more airtime. I get plenty of it.
I mean, I get it. I get this kid probably thought that they were going to go and really stick it to Trump via a surrogate there in Kellyanne Conway, but it didn't really work out that way. And ultimately, this student will probably go on to work for CNN and MSNBC and lie and hate on Trump nonstop for their entire life because of this exact moment. Because this exact moment, when they got humiliated, will change the trajectory of their career forever. They were humbled. They realized that they didn't have all the answers. And that's something that all of us generally go through at some point in our life. Most of us, it doesn't take until we're in our mid-20s to figure that out. Usually it's maybe 13, 14 for most people. But, this person, I guarantee you, bookmark this video, will end up working in liberal media. Almost certainly. And then we'll work there and smear whatever. They'll probably still be talking about Trumpism in 10 years when they get a job, or in 5 years when they get a job. But Trump, or maybe even before. This Brat will be on The View talking about Trumpism and how it formed this, and how J.D. Vance is a mini Trump and all this. Mark my words. I always love seeing entitled liberal brats get owned, and I know you do too, so make sure to leave a like on this video. Don't forget to get your sugar plum flavored and gingerbread flavored coffees, coffee brand coffee.com, and of course our advent calendar, which is now shipping. There's about 1,000 pre-orders to go through, so I think we can probably say if you order today, it'll be shipping by early next week sometime. We'll talk to you again real soon.